Hey everybody, it's Val from Autistic Interpretations. I'm Jessica's mom. If y'all don't know Jess, you need to get to know her. She's an awesome individual, lots of fun. She keeps us all entertained and happy and helps us see the good and positive side of life. So this is going to be an answer to a question. So this is part of my Q&A series. And this question came from my good friend Saskia. And so I'll tell you the question. The question is, what's the best advice that I ever got? And I had to really stop and think about that. That's a tough question for me. And partly because I have a pea brain memory, but I do have an answer. And I'm going to bravely answer it, honestly, from my perspective. I think this is a controversial topic for a lot of people, but this is our life and our experience, so I'm going to share it. It's something for families to think about who have children. Jess is adult, she's 33, and this advice came when she was getting ready to age out of high school. So a little bit of history first. Most of Jessica's school career, I fought the system. I fought labels. I fought the plan. I fought goals. I was very opinionated. But my overall belief system was, Jess can do it. She can do it. Don't underestimate. She can learn. Don't tell me she can't learn to read. Don't tell me she can't do Braille. Don't tell me she can't do this. You don't know. You haven't tried, etc. All of that mostly fell on deaf ears. People didn't listen. They didn't believe me. I lost many of those battles within the school system. And of course, this started when she was 6 or 7 in elementary school, this whole belief system that she can't do things. So from the schooling perspective, Jessica can't. She wouldn't be able to. She'll never, blah, 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 whatever. And so the first testing she had done that labeled her as moderately to severely intellectually delayed, I disagreed with it. Not delayed, disabled. So they put her on the moderate to severe spectrum of intellectual disability. And I just disagreed. The test they gave her made 0 accommodations for her vision. So she got completely marked off, down, whatever, because she couldn't do the vision portion of the test. And still, I'm still like, how can that be okay? There's no way that can be okay. They didn't make any accommodations for her lack of vision. So I did win that battle, and that test got thrown out theoretically. So that was what I was fighting. I was fighting her being pigeonholed at that point in her career when she was just learning, and I didn't want anybody to use that as an excuse to not try to teach her something and an excuse to put her in environments where she wasn't stimulated or taught or pushed in any kind of way because she was just whatever. And all through the years, I fought stuff like that. And all through the years, I was the voice of, yes, she can, yes, she can, yes, she can. So when she was in her final year of school, public school, she was about to age out of school, I had a teacher advise me to stop fighting the labels because I was going to need the labels. I needed those diagnoses. I needed all of that to get services when she got out of school. And this teacher said, you're going to need to go from saying she can to saying she can't, because you're not going to get the help you need if you don't say She can't do this. She can't do that. She can't do this. These are her diagnoses. These are her labels. And that was really tough advice to hear. Tough advice to swallow. And then when the time came for meetings for Jessica to get her waiver for service, but when we finally had these meetings, it was in 2014, the same year I quit work. And we had meetings in the house where these people came, and true enough, if I wanted these services, I literally had to talk about all the things Jessica cannot do. All of her weaknesses. And that was hard. It's just hard to say out loud. It's hard to suddenly feel like you're on this major swing from trying to convince people that she can learn to trying to convince people of all the things she cannot do. All the things that you hope she learns, but she hasn't. All the ways she's not independent. But you know what? That whole meeting, I sat there and remembered that advice. I remembered that advice of you have to stop trying to push that away. Stop trying to do away with those labels and take them. You need them. So that really empowered me during that meeting, that big first group meeting we had here about the waiver. We had it right here in my living room. It really empowered me to remember to say all the ways we needed help. We needed so much help. We really did. I needed help. Jessica needed help. I was falling to pieces, still trying to cling on to a job and take care of her, and get the waiver pushed through. And at the same time, we'd been trying to get her in this day program that was not going well. And everything was going poorly at that time. It was a really dark time, and it was just not, it was not a good time. It was not a good time. And, I sat through some IEPs in my day that were hard and that were heartbreaking and that made me cry, but there wasn't an IEP that compared to this meeting, in adulthood, past all the schooling and education, sitting there having to say, no, she can't do this. No, she can't bathe herself. No, she can't cook herself any food. No, she can't, she has to have help with everything. Yes, she's a flight risk. Yes, she's a safety risk. She's a fall risk. It's like admitting defeat, but at the same time feeling very defensive about whether or not they believe you, because I spent so much time trying to convince people the other way. And when it was turned, and suddenly I'm like, I don't think they're going to believe me because I'd been the one trying to convince everybody for so long. And going forward after that, with the yearly meetings, to set goal and to reevaluate Jessica's need for the waiver and all that, I still remember that. I still remember that it's very important to be very open and honest about all the things that she can't do, all the places she needs help, and I need help. It's not about me, but it's about me from a level of my ability to maintain myself to care for her. And if that means saying she needs help with all these things, you have to look at it from a perspective of I'm not here. I wasn't here, what does she need help with? Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. It's easy to look at Jess and see this beautiful woman, beautiful hair, beautiful smile, happy, articulate. And it's easy to see all those things and then not realize the depth of her disability, the depth of her needs. And it's deep, very deep. Thanks for the question, Saskia. You made me think hard on that one and dig deep. So anyway, if anybody has any questions about these, about this topic, about what I've said, I know that there are young families with young students that don't want them to be labeled, and I understand why. Completely understand why. But when you get to the adult stage, it changes and labels matter. It's important for services. It's very important for services. It's very important to me. Just know that everybody's got a different viewpoint of everything. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's okay that you don't know what my life is like and I don't know what your life is like. You don't know what my resources may or may not be, that I don't have any, versus you may have some, so you don't need the same services that I need because you have resources. So everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing. I'm talking about me and my life and how that advice applied to me. Anyway, thanks again. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us out in the whole YouTube world of algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed, please remember to subscribe. That also helps us out. And hit the bell icon if you'd like to be notified every time we post a new video. So we appreciate y'all very much. Bye.